Absolutely. I mean, we wanted to stay in inner city Brisbane, and the difficulty we had was we didn't really want to renovate as such, and we wanted to start from scratch. My husband, obviously being a builder, we wanted to utilise his skills. So we looked all around inner city Brisbane, but New Farm was obviously, you know, the top of the top. So we were very surprised and excited when we found it.
What about the process of actually building your home? What, you know, I'm interested in how you found it, what the hardest parts about it were, what your favourite part was.
Sure. So I guess the process to most people, you know, it's exciting. It can have challenges along the way. I think for us, it's on another level when you are married to each other, and you know your partner and husband is the builder, and then you're doing all the design and I guess the creation of it. So for us, we work quite well together most of the time. Obviously we would probably butt heads a little bit with some design aspects, because my husband always says to me, you know, what you think can come to life is very different to reality. So we sort of had to meet halfway a lot of the time and negotiate things. And you know, the best part for me was really, I don't know if you saw some of the sketches, really from the beginning, having just the dirt and hand sketching the parts of the house and the design aspects of it, and him really bringing it to life. So that was probably the best bit for me.
Did you find that you were like looking more from a holistic, the way that you're even speaking about it, and I'm an interior designer myself, it's quite beautiful actually. You're talking about from the dirt and understanding the site, and then he's got more formal training in it. So did you find that you sort of had to reach a happy medium almost as two different clients as much as it is, you know, being a couple?
Absolutely. And you know, I don't have any qualifications. I have a science degree, and my everyday work is very different to this. So you hit the nail on the head. I mean, things visually, I've always been a visual person and very creative, and Nathan's probably been, you know, the other end of the scale, but together, you know, he's got a lot of common sense and the way he is with his hands. So I would sort of come up with an idea. For example, the pool itself, you know, the idea of the pool came to me because our block sort of had a bit of an angle, and when I was standing there thinking about, okay, we love entertaining, we've got 2 young children, we want something that, you know, as you enter the house, you know, you see and is quite bold and beautiful. And I said to him, why don't we just put the pool above the ground? And he thought I was crazy, of course. And, you know, we thought about that for quite some time, but in the end, you know, I think that's one of the best features of the house is from the entry. We've angled the entry and you see that pool and that entertainment area.
Yeah, look, we were looking at some of the pictures a little earlier actually of your pre-work and all the dirt, as you say, all of that hard work that was involved. We're going to take a look now at some of the shots of the masterpiece really that you've created now. Is this really what you had envisaged it to look like?
To be honest, a lot of it, yes, but a lot of it evolved along the way. I mean, excuse the empty wine fridge. My husband, true to form, obviously got the house professionally photographed before we moved in with the children, so didn't have time to fill it. But we had a strong vision, which was kind of really both of our personalities put together. But you know, some of the ideas really did evolve along the way, and it came to us. For example, I mean, naming the house, that sort of came to me in the end. And being in sales and thinking of it in a marketing and resale perspective, I thought, why don't we play on the whole darkness of the house? And my husband's obviously Italian, and we thought, why don't we name it The Black House in Italian? So a lot of it did evolve. A lot of it we had to really think on the spot and change, because a lot of things that we sort of wanted to do, we couldn't do. Or, you know, I don't know if you've built yourself before, but, you know, what you see on a plan is very different a lot of times when you are on site and trying to bring it to life. So you really have to be malleable.
It's interesting that you mentioned that with the Italian, you know, the nero, the black. You've used that detailing not just from the outside. You've got that beautiful screening on the balcony, but you've used it almost like eyeliner throughout the house as well, in the tapware and the finishes. Like, I'm looking from a design point of view, and you have honestly done an amazing job, especially since you're saying you have no training in it. Did you just immerse yourself in magazines and designs and looking online, and or do you think you just, I don't know, had it in you from the beginning?
To be honest, both my husband and I, we always joke about it, but we both are perfectionists and we both have a degree of OCDism, we always say. But we both, you know, I guess both of our histories and backgrounds came to this as well, in our personalities. So we both always push ourselves to the edge. And, you know, this isn't obviously my full-time job, even Nathan's full-time job. You know, he does other things on the side of this too. So we sort of took this on board as a personal project, and we lived and breathed it, to be honest, every second of the day. Every you know, we'd come home from work, you know, do the homely things with the kids, put them to sleep, and we would spend a good 2-3 hours every night on the house. And yeah, it's interesting, challenging at the same time, but I think, you know, in the end it was all worth it.
It was. I'm wondering, you know, the result is outstanding. You've done a great job. Was there anything that you sort of, I don't know, learnt along the way, or something that didn't quite go as planned that people can take home and learn from?
To be honest with you, this is our third project we've done together as a principal place, and looking back, I mean, looking back to the first home we did 8 years ago when we first got married, we've evolved so much. So at this stage, I probably wouldn't change anything yet, but I'm sure if you asked me the same question in 3-4 years' time, I'd go, oh yeah, this time I'd do this. And the biggest thing I'm proud of is the different features we put in the house that really pushed the boundaries. I mean, the steel, I think you saw the steel at the beginning, you put it up. That's like 9-metre steel portals that had to be secured to the slab at the beginning. And, you know, I'm sure my husband lost a lot of sleep over that. And yeah, so things like that, and the pressed porcelain feature through the house, I think that's quite unique what we did with that.
And look, I'm sure you might be looking at your next opportunity because you have clearly such a gift of doing this. Would you consider sort of doing this as a bit more of a career, a business, kind of flipping properties and doing more of this?
If I could turn back time, Leanne and James, to be honest, I probably would have done architecture at university, but...
It's not too late.
To answer your question, I feel lucky that I don't really need to, because I do, you know, we come from, Nathan's family has been in the property industry for a long time, and I feel like, you know, with my vision, there's nothing that we can't do with their skills, and his skills in particular. So I definitely would love to do this for a living, and I'd love to create a bit of a, I guess, a style home, and that's really our taste. If I could describe it in a couple of words, it'd probably be minimalistic, but something that's really thought through and really livable for people.
Well, look, you know, for such a personal view you have, sometimes people make very personal decisions which looks great for them but doesn't reach the broad market. And what you've ended up with is something that really ticks the boxes for a very broad market. It's been executed well, you've got great taste. When I'm dealing with my clients, often I'm siding with the wives and I say, listen, mate, happy wife, happy life. In this case, when you've got a wife with great taste and great vision, you remind him how lucky he is. You've done an amazing job. Thanks so much for sharing it with us, and we are happy to look at the next one when you go and find it.
Absolutely.
We're happy to follow your journey.
Thank you.